you want to hit the mute and then unmute with questions. All right, Marcy, whenever you are ready.
All right. So good evening, everybody. Thanks, Jenna, for having me. As she said, my name is Marcy LaCroix. I am a community capacity builder, which is just a really fancy way of saying that my position and those my coworkers in the similar position, we here at the Disability Hub are here to help you. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight is how we can help and the tools that we offer to help to navigate all the things that are out there that we offer for community resources and explain a little bit about what we do. A little bit of disclosure, I am working from home, as many people are. I do have dogs and a family, so please bear with me if you hear those dogs announcing something. I don't know, they might think they see a squirrel or hear somebody at the door, but I will hopefully not have to mute myself for too long, but we will get going as soon as I do, as soon as they stop that. At any point, if you have questions, do please feel free to drop them in a chat. Jenna's helping me monitor those. There'll be a couple places that we stop and ask if you have questions, as well as some time at the end. Okay, so a little bit about Disability Hub. We are a free statewide resource network that we exist to help people with disabilities, but also parents, guardians, and others that support them to solve problems, navigate the system, and plan for their future. We were designed to be a single access point. So one place where you could go to get support from a number of agencies, which is kind of why we're called the Hub. So that as you're working with the number of agencies that you might be, many people work with quite a few agencies, and that can get really confusing about where to call and what to ask. So our staff are able to help navigate those processes, understand where you might need to go. And we have training about benefits that are administered at a federal level, so like Social Security benefits, at a state level, like medical assistance, and local levels, like an energy assistance. And we also can help understand the terminology. There's a lot of letters and acronyms thrown out there, and we can help understand those acronyms and the terminology from each of those agencies. We are a neutral resource. We provide unbiased information, and anything that is shared with us is protected and it's safe. The Hub is also part of what's called the welfare system, which means when you talk to us, we can talk to you, our case managers, to help people get services and information they need to understand options and make decisions. We also have a team of, we call OCs, options counselors, and they provide one-to-one assistance on the phone, over email, or live chat that's on our website. And we'll take a look at that a little later. They know the ins and outs of community resources and government programs, and combined have years of experience helping work through them and help fit them together. Our staff are also the experts that we talk about when we're talking about chat with an expert, or when we refer to an expert associated with DB 101 and HB 101, which are two tools that we're going to go through later as well. One of the things that I think is most unique about us, and that we're rather proud of, is that we try to be comprehensive when we're helping someone. So we can go through more of a discovery process where we're going to explore if there's something that's not quite said or not quite realized, that's a problem or a need. So an example might be somebody might call to find food shelf locations. But in a conversation, we find out that they're not working, or they're concerned about working because they're providing some sort of, maybe they're providing support to a parent, or maybe a spouse who's become ill, and we can assist them with finding additional resources. Or maybe you're wanting to move out on your own and you're not quite sure how to do that, and you're not quite ready to have the big conversation yet. You just want to find out what's going on, or what possibilities are, and we can have a conversation about that as well. So a little bit more about us as a statewide infrastructure. We were created to provide more of a seamless system for people to access information that they need when they need it. I'm sure you've probably experienced that you've not always been able to get information in a timely manner, and hopefully also in a way that's comfortable for people. So the linkage lines, which Disability Hub MN is formerly Disability Linkage Line, and we are a sister association with Senior Linkage Line and with LinkVet, or the Veterans Linkage Line. So we are part of, the three of us are part of the linkage line system. Now, as a central database, we all three of us utilize a central database called minnesotahelp.info to support people in finding resources in the community. And this is available to you as well. And we're going to take a quick peek at it later on. As far as access points, we at the Hub have access to policy experts and benefit lookup information with the Disability Services Division of the Department of Human Services. So that's a unique way that we are able to get detailed information about benefits that you may or may not have, and what might be going on a little bit more behind the scenes, and to help navigate that. A little bit about our team. Many of our options counselors have human service backgrounds, or some other degree, teaching, a chaplain. We have a psychology, social work. We have a number of human service backgrounds. And then when they come onto our team, they go through a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks of a full training schedule before they even touch the phone, and ongoing training. Then we have monthly trainings on topics like housing, MAEPD, medical assistance for employed persons with disabilities is what that stands for, work and benefits related stuff, and other things that come up, like COVID related information right now. Then we also have some of our staff, including myself and my coworkers who will be presenting tomorrow afternoon, that have additional credentialing or expertise, such as CIPWIC, which stands for Certified Public Work Incentives Counselor. It's, again, a fancy way of saying that we know the ins and outs of work and benefits, and we have a little bit deeper knowledge than those, than some people who might be answering the phone, but we're accessible to you. And we exist to help create plans, not only to understand and navigate, but to create future plans and future goals around work and how it can positively affect your income while receiving the most bang for your buck from your benefits. So we will never tell you to do or encourage you or support you in any way to do something that's not beneficial to you. We're going to explain it and explain why, so that you can make your own decisions. So at the Hub, we are all about the individual. We're all about the person that we're talking to, and exploring the options and finding solutions that work for that person as an individual. And we can explore multiple areas like health, their community, their home, the home they live in or want to live in, the work that they might want to do or are currently doing, skills, and money. And sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, this leads to a discovery process. When someone contacts us about one issue or a question, and again, through that conversation, we find out that there are other areas that we can actually support them or assist them in that, that we might not have originally discussed. So for us, it's about finding what's important to the person, helping set goals if that's what that person wants to do, and reach those goals when that is what the person wants to do. So you might have heard the phrase person-centered. That is what we are as an organization, and how we interact and how we support people is definitely through a person-centered approach. All right, so we're going to dive into the meat of what I'm here to talk about tonight, and those are some helpful tools. It includes our website, Disability Hub MN. It also includes DB 101, which stands for Disability Benefits 101, HB 101, which stands for Housing Benefits 101, the Vault, and I'll explain more about what that is, but it kind of is, it exists through all three of those first things that I mentioned, minnesotahelp.info, and Direct Support Connect. So our website. So to begin with, here's a screenshot of our homepage. We've recently updated and upgraded our website. We think it's pretty great. Hopefully it's easy to navigate, clear and easy to read and understand, we hope. And from here is where we can explore all the ways to access the tools that might be helpful to you, including setting up a vault and a vault account that works across the multiple sites. And it does so with one sign-in for your convenience. One less password and username, actually two that you would have to remember. So on our website, across the top banner, you see top topics. And here's a screenshot of what happens or what you're going to see when you click on top topics. It's going to pull this down for you. And this is where you're going to find the most commonly used or searched topics, or those with the most common questions. And right now on the other side, I'm not sure if you can, hopefully you can read that over here, that includes current highlights such as COVID, but health, housing, independence, and money. And if you are on Medicare or know somebody that's on Medicare, here's some common questions, just because that comes up, especially toward the end of the year and in the beginning of the year as we are now. The next tab is your options. And this is an important tab because it breaks information into categories, hopefully making it easier to find the most relevant and useful information for whatever your current needs are. Again, health, housing, independence, money, and work. And we have highlighted here right now, exploring housing options. That might change the next time you visit because we do try to highlight according to needs of the callers that we're experiencing, because there tend to be trends. People have similar questions different times of the year or with changes coming up, like the beginning of a year or the middle of the year when there's a fiscal calendar year change. So those are areas that you can check out and watch for different highlighted areas. Now, this third tab is Hub Tools, which is what we are going to dive into later on. And I do want to take just a moment to point out that this activities and guides section, this only exists on the Disability Hub website. It does not exist in the other tools that we're going to explore. And I just want to take a minute and look at these because these may be incredibly helpful as you're planning for future, and they're great to use along with the other tools that we're going to review today. So we're just going to take a quick peek at what might be there. This charting the life course, and there is this link up here, and this is a screenshot of what you would see when you clicked on charting the life course from our website. It's a framework of tools, and they do have a website, an expanded website that's their own, but we have included a video and just some highlights of how you might use these tools. And the great thing about these tools is they're not just for those with disabilities, but for all people to plan your best life, work through problems, develop plans, and organize your thoughts about your best life. So I really encourage you to take a look at those as you're planning your future, and just working through some of the things that just kind of come up in life, and how to work through those and get to the other side. What you might see, this is again another screenshot from when you click on there. And these are the specific tools that we highlight: the one-page profile, a life trajectory, and an integrated support star. And we're not going to go through them tonight, but I did want to put a spotlight on them, so to speak, because again, these are incredibly helpful tools that are only available in the tools that we're going to talk about tonight on Disability Hub website. Okay, and the final tab on our website, on the Disability Hub website, is the Get Involved. And this is just offering you some opportunities to support us in making what we provide as services even better services. A virtual insight panel, giving feedback, and it does get to the Department of Human Services, sharing your success story. We really do like hearing not only how we help you, but if there's some bigger picture that you've had a success working through, we want to hear about those things. Okay, so here we have our homepage again, with the tabs we just reviewed. But now let's talk about this tab in the upper right-hand corner that says Sign into My Vault. And this is one of the tools that we are highlighting. And I want to go through how to create that vault for you. Tomorrow afternoon, when my coworkers come to share some time with you, they're going to go in deeper into the activities that are in the vault. But I want to show you how to create that vault, because again, you can use it across the 3 websites. So, okay, I'm going to have to do this differently. Bear with me one moment, because it did not pop in there the way I was hoping it would. So, are you all seeing Disability Benefits 101 right now? Or are you seeing? Yes. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Jenna. We're going to go back to the Hub website. And we're going to click on this Sign into My Vault. And I apologize, I did have this recorded a little differently, so we wouldn't have to do it this way. So when you click on Sign into My Vault, you need an email, and you do need to have an email to access this. And family support providers of young people, or for those that don't want to or don't have their own email, you can create this with them. So let's see, I'm just going to go marcyccb@net.info. I'm just making one up, but you are going to want to use a real one in there. Now, for a password, you do need to, back up here. We're going to click on create an account. See, this is what happens when I just don't have technology pop up in front of me the way it's supposed to. So we're going to do that again. marcy@ccb.net is what we're going to do. We're going to do .info. Password, and you're going to make up a password. And 2 things on your password that we're going to review. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so sorry. I'm jumbling all over. So we're going to come back to password because I want to talk about organization before I hit submit. If you are not a provider of some sort, like if Jenna might be the school, if it's a VR counselor, they might be the state agency. But if you are an individual who is using this for non-professional, for not work, for your own purposes, you're just going to leave it as none of these. Okay, now we're going to click submit. And you can see two things, and I did this on purpose, I promise. Your password must contain at least one special character that's not a letter or a number, so like an exclamation point. Okay, and then they have to match. Of course, that's a pretty common thing. And now when everything is set to go, you're going to see that you have 4 green check marks and it's all ready to go. And you hit submit. And it tells you that you successfully created your account. And now you can click on My Vault, and it's got some tools in there that help you go to DB 101, HB 101, and some things that we will talk about again tomorrow. Okay, let's get back over to that PowerPoint. And before I dive back into that part, are there any questions about creating an account? Because I feel like I may have completely confused you. And my apologies again for that, but are there any questions? And you can drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. Okay. And I only see a couple faces, so I see neither one of those faces telling me, yes, they have a question. So I'm going to move on, okay? So again, sign into My Vault, create account is how you create that account that's usable between Disability Hub, DB 101, and HB 101. And so now let's talk about what's the big deal about the Vault. Well, it's an online tool that helps to securely store and share information and have it all in one place. I'm sure you've all experienced getting a number of pieces of mail and maybe not being able to find the one piece that you need. Well, this is an option to store that. It would need to be scanned or take a picture with your phone, but it could be uploaded into the Vault and it's secure. And then once it's in there, you can access your own benefit information and anything that you've put in there. You can also share it with others. So if you're working with Jenna, you can create Jenna as a contact in your Vault, and you can share it with her. Hey, I don't know what this means, and maybe she'd be able to help you out. Now, when we talk about benefit information, there's this cool tool on there within the Vault that is a benefit request. And if you recall earlier, I said that we worked with the Disability Services Division to get access to benefit information. You can also get that. If you don't know what benefits you have through your state, through your county, you can do that benefit lookup request, and they're going to be able to tell you almost all of the benefits that you have, including Social Security, what your medical assistance is, etc. And you get that information within about 2 days, most often. Now, the other thing about the Vault is you can tailor the information to your own needs. You can save articles, you can save tools in there. And again, that's information that we'll look at just a tiny bit tonight, but we'll dive in more tomorrow with my coworkers. Now, using the Vault also helps streamline the process of moving information. Like I said, maybe you're going to share something with Jenna. Maybe you were working with me at the Hub because you had some pretty in-depth benefit questions and you got another letter from Social Security and you want to share that with me. We can do that. Or you did a tool, one of the try it tools on there, and it doesn't make any sense and you need somebody to explain it to you. You can call the Hub and share it with us and we can help walk through it. Now, this is also a place where you can set goals and plan for the future, and they're right in that Vault for you. So kind of a cool tool. We do hope that you'll take advantage of it. Oh, hey, look, there's that video. And I'm not going to go through it because we've already gone through it. If at the end somebody wants to see it again, we are going to come back to slide 17. That's where we're going to come back to. Oh, and there's going to play. Okay. Now about DB 101. Oh my goodness. It feels like a Monday. Now on DB 101, again, this stands for Disability Benefits 101. There's a couple of ways to access information. And what I mean by that is they've been laid out a little bit differently. So one way is by situation. So we might be talking about work and benefits in general, or we might be talking about a young person, 22 and under is what we are referring to when we say a young person. And in these situation pages, in these two categories, you're going to find articles tailored to, let's just say, youth, that young person, about finding a job, working and maintaining that work, planning for transition into adulthood. There's also articles about post-secondary education or higher education and planning for the future with that. Parents, family members, there's also some great articles about transition at age 18, having conversations about work and agencies that can help with that transition that you might find helpful. Now, in the work and benefits section, there's going to be similar articles about how to find job support once you are working and getting accommodations at work, programs that might help build assets, so build your wealth as you're working, and how to manage benefits while you are working. Reading these articles can be a really good first step and give a foundational, very basic knowledge about going to work, as well as, well, building some confidence around the possibility of work, because it can be a really scary thing. The program pages, this is where you're going to have the opportunity to look at specific benefits, whether you receive them or are interested in receiving them, and particularly the impact that work can have on those benefits. Or their eligibility, their continued eligibility. You can find information about the application process. And then once you have some of that information, then you might be able to go deeper with tools within these. There's information in these program pages about both cash and healthcare benefits at the state and federal level. As an example, various articles on Social Security disability programs, the county cash programs, as well as medical assistance and Medicare. And each of these articles, they follow the same format. There's the explanation of basics of the program, eligibility rules, and then there's the impact that work income will have on that benefit. And they also include actually some pretty amazing real life examples, as well as frequently asked questions about the benefit. And these program pages, they can help answer many of the questions that you might have. Here's a little bit of a closer look. Cash benefits, healthcare is how they're divided up. There's SSI, SSDI. Quick note, you can see these little, what they look like, video cameras, maybe more 80s video cameras, but video cameras all the same. And what that means is that there is a short video in there, and they're under 10 minutes, almost all of them, with the exception, I think, maybe one. And they're just really good at explaining those benefits. And you can see that there's quite a few of them just from right here. And then here's a link to an estimator. So here's work and benefits and youth, like we talked about with the situation, then programs, and there's your vault. So that vault that we created off from the Disability Hub MN website, you can access it here too. That same sign-in is what you would use. Now, if you happen to land on Disability 101, DB 101, before you land on Disability Hub website, you can also register right here. So Okay, so within disability, within DB 101, I've mentioned some of these tools already, but there's try-its and features, and those are embedded within these articles, and they allow a person to put in a snapshot of your financial information and get just a quick look of eligibility for a particular benefit, as well as the work impact on it. And it might just be, it might not even take you 2 full minutes, and it's just a handful of questions that you can kind of, you don't have to know the exact piece on it. It is an estimate. It's just to try it, just to give you a taste of what it might look like, um, to have a particular benefit, or to see if you might be eligible for that benefit. Now, I mentioned the videos. They truly are. I'm not just saying this as a staff member of the hub, but as someone who has had to learn this information, and I support people within my family and refer people outside of work to these videos, and they truly are helpful. The success stories, real life success stories that have been shared with us, as I showed you on the hub website, and the vault activities. And this is where there's a number of activities that provide estimates, more in-depth estimates than the try-it features, or try-its and other features, to look at work and benefits, advice on managing your benefits, budgeting, and a few more things. Now we're going to look at HB 101 quickly, and HB 101 is laid out in much the same way as DB 101. There are program pages that include specific information about eligibility and application to housing benefits, and they cover things like adult foster care, what's a board and lodge, as well as provide information about programs that can help pay for housing, like Section 8 vouchers, MSA housing assistance, and a few more. And included on the program pages, there are articles that address owning a home versus renting and living with other people. Now, for those that have never lived on their own before, it actually could be really helpful to check out the renting page. And it's a good place that provides information about the realities of renting, the ups and downs. And here again is just a closer look of what HB 101 looks like. And you can see here your own place. These are your situations. Here's some services. Here's some other programs. And if you look down here, chat with a hub expert, call the hub, email the hub. You're going to find that on every page throughout HB 101, DB 101, and of course, our Disability Hub website. Now, the situation pages include finding a home, moving out of a facility like a group home or a foster care, changing your housing, keeping your housing, and for the unfortunate circumstance of being homeless, some homeless services, and all easily accessible right on that situations page. And this homeless service brings you to county specific. You will also see that HB 101 is on Twitter. So if you're interested in following them on Twitter, that's a cool thing to do. Now, HB 101 places, and I'm going to go, I don't have a screenshot of it on there. Now, this is a relatively new feature. And it's a tool for finding housing that you can use, and it allows you to filter for things like location, the housing type, the payments that are accepted. This tool is reliant upon the providers who are in the tool to submit and keep correct and current their information. This is relatively new. It's been recently launched. So there may be some bugs in it right now. If you have questions, give us a call at the hub or chat with us, but keep an eye out as it progresses. We anticipate this to be just a phenomenal tool. And you can see here's a quicker look or a more in-depth look at it, there's a video of how to use it. So I'm not going to go through that. But you can enter all of this information, that maybe it's a waiver, it's for a single person, how far from a particular zip code you want to live. And then it's going to give you a list of the information. It is important to pay attention to the last date updated, and that's going to show within that listing. Now, within the HB 101 vault, again, it's similar to DB 101, but specific to housing. It includes things like I get to decide, how do I get started? A housing budget. What do I want in a new place? What are your housing needs and wants? What kind of help do I need within my day and my life, within the housing setting that I want? How do I make a good impression on potential landlords or housing management? And how can sharing a place work for me? So having roommates, some people haven't ever considered that. And what does that look like? I highly recommend looking at that tool. Actually, all of these tools are phenomenal for exploring. My coworkers and I have frequently said, we really wish we would have had this when we were college age. And, or even a little older when we still couldn't quite afford to live on our own, because they're just incredibly useful. Okay, so dogs are going to bark right at the end. Sorry. So on DB 101, we'll keep trying this. Those programs and situations, those short informational videos about work and benefits, some awesome tools, those estimators as well as try-its, and of course the vault. Remembering that there is a link to chat or email the hub for assistance on all of the DB 101 pages. And for HB 101, again, there's program and situation articles. HB 101 Places, a new and exciting tool to watch, those vault activities, and they're adding more to that. I encourage you to watch out for that. And again, we're chat or email as on all of those pages. And a quick look at Minnesota Help and Direct Support Connect. Minnesota Help, this is to use along with other tools in developing your plans. Maybe you find that you need other people or other agencies to help you in some way, but you just don't quite know what they might be or who they might be. And by using Minnesota Help, you can search for those. And this is Minnesota specific. So they're going to be within the state of Minnesota, but however, they might be serving different counties. So as an example, I'm in Beltrami County, but there might be an agency that's in Ramsey County that also serves my county. So important to look at what information is provided. Now, not every possible resource is going to exist in minnesotahelp.info because much like HB 101 Places, it's reliant on the providers to provide their information and update it, but still an incredible helpful tool. If you're having difficulty, again, you can call or chat with us right from this website. We can help you navigate that as a tool as well. And now Direct Support Connect, it's a job board. It's a dedicated job board, and it's a hiring resource for direct support workers like PCAs. It's a free service, and it's provided by the Minnesota Department of Human Services. Users, whether you are a job seeker or you're an individual who needs that support service, both the situations, you create a personal profile, and that personal profile is used as a matchmaker to try and find the person that would fit in your life the best way. So again, here's the Hub website, or at Disability Hub. We want to talk about how you could use us as a tool. We can, as far as policy related questions, We can help understand options and look at a person's benefits to understand what might be going on, but we can't interpret the policy specifically for you. We can guide you through it. When it comes to eligibility questions, we can explain the eligibility criteria. We can educate you on what those options are and those criteria are. We can connect you to assistance for further assistance in there, but we do not determine eligibility, and that's a very important piece that sometimes can be confusing. We are here to help get you connected in any way that we can. If we are not the ones who can do the service or answer the question for you. Questions regarding form completion and responses, we can go through a form for you or with you, but we can't do the form for you. We don't offer any in-person services, only by phone or online. So we have to refer you to agencies that can help in person if that's what works best for you. Now, when it comes to Social Security Administration, we are here to provide some education, certainly navigation of that process. But if there are application or other paperwork completion needs, when there's a reconsideration or an appeal, or there's overpayment management, that's when we need to refer to outside agencies. Again, we can help you understand what's going on to decide if we do need overpayment management, as an example, but we don't make any determination. So, how to reach us, chat with us, email us, call us. If it's after business hours like it is right now, you can email us and we're going to respond within 1 business day. You can request the same person that you've talked to in the past. Sometimes that just makes things a little bit easier. Again, the Disability Hub website, DB101 and HB101 are ways that you can always reach us. And now we're on Facebook. We would greatly appreciate it if you would go like us and follow us on Facebook. We share news, we share tips and tricks. Soon we'll hopefully have some videos and some trainings to share with you via Facebook Live even. So look for that. Okay. My technology snafu gave us just a little bit of a shortened time, but I do want to see if anybody has questions.
Feel free to unmute yourself or type your questions in the chat. I can read any chat questions that come through.
This is Lynette. I was just wondering, is this, I think I saw a little blurb there that this is not a government agency. I was just wondering, is this like a private agency or how you're funded?
Great question. So we are actually funded through the Disability Division of Department of Human Services. And we are contracted. So no, we are not a government agency, but we have a contract with DHS. Did that answer everything, Lynette?
Yeah, I think so. So basically you're contracted by the government. So they're funding you, but you're not a government agency.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
I see.
Correct.
Yep. And so you're located in?
We are located all across the state.
Okay.
There's 2 centers for independent living that are contracted to carry out the service. So Metropolitan Center for Independent Living, whose main office is out of St. Paul, and Southeastern Minnesota Center for Independent Living, SEMCIL, whose main office is out of Rochester. But for example, I'm up in Bemidji. So we have staff across the entire state.
Okay, so yeah, I live in Rochester. We have SEMCIL here. So you're related to SEMCIL then?
SEMCIL and MCIL have been granted the contracts so they provide our payroll. They provide, all of our equipment. They
Oh,
hold the contract. They're in the contract with DHS.
okay. Okay, just curious.
Yeah. Great question. We do get asked, well, and it's confusing too, because
Yeah.
people think that we are the government agency that they're having difficulty with. and unfortunately, there are difficulties to be had, but we are here to help and to navigate through there. That's why we're the unbiased, and that's actually why we exist, to help navigate in a way that is unbiased, and we don't have a hold in any one particular agency or with one particular healthcare provider or anything like that. Thank you, Erin.
Marcy, I'll ask a question. A lot of MICC families are from out of state, so out of Minnesota, around the country.
Yeah.
What are your recommendations for where to start with Minnesota resources?
So as far as Minnesota resources, give us a call, because I'm saying give us a call versus chat with us, because it's just easier to hear your individualized story, so we know specifically what you're looking at. Maybe you're moving to Minnesota, maybe whether it's Social Security is completely different than Minnesota healthcare programs. So there may be things that we could give you general information about. There also may be things within, for example, North Dakota, there's some similarities within the states that we can share, but we're always going to try and get you connected. So even if you are North Carolina, even if you're Texas, we're going to try and get you connected with a similar resource and referral program, such as the Hub, or a 211 or something in your area. We're going to try and get you connected. Anything else? All right. Well, Jenna has my contact information. So if there are questions that you specifically want answered from me, she can pass those along. Otherwise, do please give us a call, chat with us, email us, explore those websites, watch for exciting new things to come up on DB 101 and HB 101, especially HB 101. We love to hear the success stories. We love to help work through the challenges. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind words.
Thank you all for coming.
Oh, Marcy?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Beth. I just have a quick question for you. If you have a student like as a senior, when is it too soon to contact tomorrow?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You contact, in fact, the earlier the better, because a lot of times, especially with young people, the earlier that we can engage in conversation, at least from my personal experience and from my longtime experience in supporting families and individuals with disabilities, the more that information that we can share with you, the less scary it is. The more informed you are, the easier that transition is. So tomorrow is perfect.
And as most of you know, part of my job is helping families with resources. Disability Hub is one of the main resources that I normally recommend people to. I reach out to them on a regular basis because there's so much to know and it's constantly changing. And they're great. All their staff is just wonderful. So I'm glad that Marcy was able to come and present tonight. I'll give it another second to see if anybody else has any questions. Otherwise, we can end the presentation for the night. And I appreciate everybody for coming.
Thank you, Jenna and Marcy. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Erin.